What's up, y'all? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody is doing well. And welcome, guys, to the weekly headliner update, week number 79. Now, if you're new to the weekly headliner, this is where we discuss what is upcoming this week in Marvel Strike Force, and then we recap the important topics from the previous week as well. Now, as usual, we have a lot of stuff to talk about here on the weekly headliner update. First, we're definitely going to get into Cosmic Crucible. That is going to be starting today. The changes that were made last week in regards to the date change, and also some rule changes as well, and room changes that we're going to discuss. I'm going to talk about some of the player feedback that you guys have shared with me so far that I've seen Reddit and Discords, whether or not this is actually a good thing or not. The Summer of Thunder Blunder compensation actually came out. Made a video and talked about this. Definitely, I think, a positive move for Scopely moving forward here. We're going to talk about the impact that definitely has on the player base right now. Also want to go through the calculations for the Space Viking event. So that's going to be starting this week here on Friday. We're going to go over some of the numbers so that you guys can be prepared for that, to do your best in regards to that event. I'm also going to talk a little bit about why I am unhappy about the Mojo Mayhem character, the next one that's going to be coming up in the battle pass here. We'll talk about that. And let's also recap some of the things, or recap the Rogue Famine event, I should say. How is Rogue so far? How are we feeling about it? And how are we feeling about this overall Scourge event? We're going to talk about that, guys, and so much more on the weekly headliner update. And we're going to start right now. All right, y'all, welcome back. And like I said, we're going to jump right into the topics here. The first thing I wanted to talk about is Cosmic Crucible. This event has changed, and it's going to be going now Monday through Thursday. Going to be starting here today at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So looking at these changes, this went out last week on Wednesday. We got an in-game mail. We're surprised because we weren't expecting it at all, right? But trials will now run Monday through Thursday, is what it said, starting on July 11th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. There will be no Cosmic Crucible the weekend of July 8th while we make this transition. So I think a lot of players initially were, like, number one, just shocked and surprised. The second thing was, I kind of got some mixed feedback. I looked at the Discords. I got some feedback here from some of the players that messaged me directly. And I guess what I'm kind of feeling so far is that most people are pretty happy with this change. But I'm also hearing that some people are a little frustrated. And part of it is because of the compensation that was sent out. So we got 1,450 of these Cosmic Crucible credits that you can use in the store. So some players were a little frustrated because they wanted to get more, and ultimately they would have gotten more if they had gone through their trials, because usually today is when your rewards go out, right? Your weekend trial, your rank rewards go out. So players will be able to use those as credits towards grabbing some stuff here in the store. So I think mostly what I heard is that the feedback was more so on the compensation sent out, that it wasn't really enough. It didn't really make up for what you were going to lose. And that I definitely do understand. But I want to say this too, from the perspective of just the timing and the days change, Monday through Thursday, significantly better than what it was before. I was an advocate. I was advocating pretty much basically like, I just don't want to do this stuff on the weekends. There's a lot going on already. I want to spend time with my family. I don't want to have to log into a game mode and then do this. Granted, you can do it at any point in time in the day. It's still just another additional thing to do, though, on a weekend. So I was actually quite happy to see that they're going to be making this change now to go Monday through Thursday. Now, I don't know if this is going to stick, right? I think the way I'm kind of looking at this is, or viewing this is, all right, well, they're probably just doing this for the Famine Scourge event, right? They know that Famine Scourge was starting this week. Or last week, they didn't want it to, I guess, sort of run alongside on the weekend. Because players were going to be pushing for that. They didn't want to run Cosmic Crucible. So I'm not quite sure if this is something that is temporary or if it's something that they're planning on making permanent-ish, right? So I'm not quite sure about that as of yet, but either way, positive change for me and personally for it being Monday through Thursday. Now, the other thing that's probably bigger than probably the day change is just these room updates here. So I posted this in my Discord. It was shared with us and something that we were able to then share. I think a lot of other CCs also shared it as well. I think it was also on probably somewhere on Reddit as well. But the room changes are the big ones, right? So these are they're making some significant changes to rooms 3, 4, and then 6. for this next Cosmic Crucible. So room 1, 2, and 5, they're all going to stay the same, but the changes that they're going to be making here starts off with room 3. So updated critical mutants, uncrit, mutant characters bury yourself for 15% of their max health. For room 4, mystic amplification, city mystic characters gain plus 25% drain, plus 50% damage, and 500% resistance. And then for room 6, skill batteries is what they're calling it. Unturned skill characters generate 1 ability energy for an adjacent ally. So listen, this is just a blatant, stage 3 is a blatant, bro, you got to use unlimited X-Men, right? Let's just call it what it is. They were like, all right, we got unlimited X-Men. You're going to have to build them for Apocalypse anyways. If you want to do well in Cosmic Crucible, you got to build unlimited X-Men. That's pretty much basically, or if you want to be top tier in Cosmic Crucible, you're probably going to have to build unlimited X-Men. Now, let's be fair. So X Factor will also benefit from this too, right? They also are mutant characters that do crit. So therefore, they will also benefit from this as well. Maybe Uncanny X-Men could. Some of the X-Men characters could also benefit here as well, because of course, I think Bishop crits automatically with his special ability. I think it always crits when Jubilee's there. So therefore, you can take advantage of that as well. But to me, stage 3 is 100% use unlimited X-Men. That's the reason why they're doing this. So I mean, I get it. It's just, man, they didn't have to be that obvious about it, right? Stage 4, Mystic Amplification. I'm not quite sure why they did this one. So City Mystic characters gain 25% drain plus 50% damage and a 500% resistance. So this only, when I filtered out the roster, right, as you can see, it's Nico, Dagger, Cloak. Oh man, Morbius is at 5 stars. I can upgrade them. You have these characters here where I'm like, I don't really know how impactful. Hand? Maybe not, right? So yes, Dagger, Cloak, cool. Ghost Rider, I guess, and Morbius, okay. So maybe Dark Hunters a little bit can benefit from that. But I feel like that room, to me, screams more about what's coming in the future as opposed to what's currently happening right now, right? That's kind of the way I view that room. So definitely stay tuned in regards to what potentially could come in the future in regards to room 4. And then stage 6, this was interesting. I think Secret Avengers Kestrel could definitely benefit from this, of course, with them having a bunch of skill characters. Somebody had also mentioned skill military. I don't know if that was a joke or not, but technically they also can benefit from this room as well. So it's interesting. It does kind of shake things up a little bit. It makes us kind of think about defenses a little bit differently, which I'm kind of okay with. It makes it a little bit more interesting from a perspective of just not facing the same cookie cutter matchups. But yeah, I mean, blatantly, room 3 is just so blatant to me right now. It's hilarious and funny. But let's talk about something else here. I'm going to turn my camera back on. I wanted to talk about the Summer of Blunder compensation, right? So I talked about this in a separate video already, but the July meta event compensation, July 8th, they made this blog post here. Not going to go read through all of it. I've already talked about it in a separate video, but wanted to talk about sort of the impact that this definitely does have, right? So they sent out the 50,000 Mjolnir fragments to complete the Summer of Thunder milestone. This inbox, I know a lot of you guys probably logged in on Friday who hadn't seen the blog post yet and were just like, oh my goodness, like, I just completed the entire Summer of Thunder event, right? So this was a good thing for me, for them to do. Obviously, there was a mistake. There was a glitch where other players were able to finish the Summer of Thunder events by not necessarily by just opening up their inbox and getting some rewards, and they were able to kind of go through the whole thing. So I'm glad that they decided to shift this so that all players are going to be able to benefit from it. And now in game, of course, we do have the Summer of Thunder event still active. We just have a milestone that is going to be going to 100,000. So you really have an opportunity here to get what, like a 5 or 6, I think it's a 6 star, right? Could be wrong, 5 star. Damn it, what's the character? Mighty Thor. So I think that's definitely exciting for a lot of players, and I definitely do think that the impact for me, the way I look at it, it's a good step in the right direction. It's one of those things where we are always concerned about whether or not Scopely can say, hey, I have screwed up, I've made a mistake, and we're gonna make it right by the players by giving them the appropriate compensation that fits the F up that we made. And for me, I just look at it from that perspective where this is a very good step in the right direction. I also look at it from the perspective of, if I'm an earlier player right now, oh my goodness, what a gift it is to be able to now have a free-to-play, right, Mighty Thor right now. Like, that is so good, I think, and it goes a long way because you're looking at future Scourge events, and that's kind of one of the things that I've talked about this past week, where there are some players right now who are earlier on that would love to be able to get through difficulty 5, but they can't because they don't have Icarus or Cersei. They can't get through because of the Cosmic Mystic section. They don't have enough villains. They don't have Doom. They don't have Omega Red. So while difficulty 5 and difficulty 4 you say are obtainable for players to be able to unlock Rogue, it's not really realistic. So for me personally, I like this. This gives them a character that they can now use in the Scourge event. So for me, the impact is definitely there. Of course, the completed gear too for G16s, nice. The gold, all the stuff I think is really good. And like I said, a very good step in the right direction. Now, there are definitely some things that still need to be addressed, right? The rolling Rebel milestone, that is something that needs to still be addressed. Players who were not able to buy that $5 offer to get the extra points for rolling Rebel, they still need to address that somehow. I don't know if it's sending out compensation, if it's putting that offer back in the store and then bringing the milestone back. That seems way too complex, but maybe the compensation for it, I think, would be a nice way to go, in my opinion. And also for players who did spend $50 or so, right, because they bought the $14.99 offer 3 times just to be able to get the remaining points. That also, I think, is something that they need to consider as well, maybe sending out some compensation so that players can feel as if though, all right, you heard them on that one too. And then there's also this Gambit mail that went out last week for some Gambit shards. Well, not last week, but during the raid event, the Gambit raids, players got random Gambit shards and random mega orbs, and other players didn't. So we'd like to also see them sort of kind of address some of those things that are going on as well. And then not related, but Jessica Jones, is her ultimate fixed yet? Is she still being resistant with her ultimate? That's something that definitely needs to be looked at as well. But yeah, I mean, overall, very good compensation, very happy with the decision. And I think the impact, I think players are feeling very good about it right now. So hopefully they can kind of continue on this trend moving forward. Now, some other things I wanted to talk about. Summer of Thunder, the events are still going on. And this week, we currently have an event right now that is going to be starting on Friday, so July 15th. There's going to be this upcoming Space Viking event where you're gonna be able to get the Thor Love of Thunder costume. I went and saw the Thor Love of Thunder movie. I really actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Had some really good laughs there, but some things to pay attention to. So we have this Interstellar Longship milestone. Then you also have this other milestone here, the Space Viking milestone, which is going to be very important to pay attention to. And you also have this web milestone called Electric Azer web milestone. I'm probably saying that wrong. Y'all know I don't pronounce things all the time the correct way when the things be pronounced. I'm done. All right. But yeah, wanted to go through some quick calculations of what essentially all this means here. So I kind of wrote this down on a notepad because I just don't do Excel because I don't know, Excel confuses me sometimes. But the big milestone to pay attention to here is going to be the Space Viking milestone. So for the Space Viking milestone, let's run back over to this right here. The Space Viking milestone has some really important things, right? So of course, you have some ability mats, you have some premium orbs, some gold orbs, etc. But what's really important in this milestone is that you also have the Milner fragments. And in order to be able to get all the Milner fragments in the Space Viking milestone, you need to get all the way up to milestone 29 in this milestone, which means that you're going to need a total of 138,000 points. Now, the way that you're going to be able to get those points is that you have to open up what's called these lightning orbs. And the way that you get these lightning orbs is you have to do the activities necessary for the Interstellar Longship milestone, and then you also have to do the activities as well for the Electric Azer web milestone. So there's some breakdown on some numbers here. In order for you to even get all those Milner fragments that are at milestone 29 in the Space Viking milestone, like I said, you need a total of 138,000 points. And you would need to open up 69, yes, giggity, lightning orbs in order to be able to do so. Now, let's take a look at the Electric Azer web milestone. Now, I wrote down here, I'm not sure if this is the calculations on this is going to be per day, because it doesn't really say it down here, right? So if we go down to the Electric Acer milestone 715, along with the Glory of Victory, rack of points for winning raids, 257 points, and Electrify this web milestone that rewards lines of lightning orb fragments, star promotion credits, etc. So if we look at this right here, if we're saying that, I'm assuming 257 is what you get for winning each raid matchup, and I'm assuming that this web milestone is going to be running every day, right? Once again, we probably still need some clarity on that to see if that's actually going to be the case. But if that is the case, that means that you'll be able to get a total of 6, because you're going to be getting 2,000 lightning orb fragments right here. Then you're going to be getting another 10,000 right here. That's a total of 6 orbs that you're going to be able to get over a 7-day period. When I did the math on that, that's a total of 42 orbs, which means that you would essentially need 27 orbs from the Interstellar milestone, which we're going to talk about how you're going to be able to get that. Now, when I looked at the Interstellar milestone, I kind of broke this down here as well. In total, from the Interstellar milestone, you can get a total of 70,000 fragments, which is the total of 35 orbs that you can get from just the Interstellar milestone. Now, the way that you get points for the Interstellar milestone, this is incredibly confusing, right? Or incredibly not confusing, let's say that. The way that you're going to be able to get points here is that you have to win arena matchups, which I don't like that at all, because right now we have Darkhold, we have Stormhold. I mean, dude, like, I can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to get wins every single time when I go up against those teams. A lot of it's incredibly RNG, so I don't like that you have to win in order to be able to get those points. And then you can also get points as well by doing blitz, by getting blitz wins. So the breakdown that I have here, once again, in order to be able to even get enough orbs to cover what you were missing here, so you need 27 orbs after getting the 42 orbs from the Electric Web milestone, you will need to at least get to milestone 29 as well in the Interstellar milestone, which is a total of 52,000 points. And if you do that, you're going to be able to get 30 orbs, which is 3 more orbs than what you need to be able to complete and get all the Milner fragments that are there. But I broke it down. If you do your arena wins and you get all 5 wins per day over that 7-day period, you're going to get a total of 10,500 points. Like I said, tough with Darkhold and Stormhold, right? That's what I wrote down. With Blitz, you need to get 41,500 points just from Blitz in order for you to be able to complete and get the Milner fragments. Good God Almighty. So that's a total of 1,384 wins over 7 days. That's a total of 198 Blitz wins per day. If you get 30 wins per rotation, that is the equivalent of 6.6 rotations per day. So essentially you would need to do 7 rotations per day and getting 30 wins per rotation in order to be able to complete and get all the way, and not complete the milestones, just to be able to get the Milner fragments that you do need here in the Space Viking milestone. So me personally, way too heavy on the screen time, in my opinion. I'm just don't like these events that require so much screen time. On the flip side of this, right, you can also say this, bro, listen, or sis, I already got my 50,000 free points already for the Summer of Thunder milestone. So whatever I get is whatever I get. I'm going to do 3 or 4 rotations a day. Let's see where that gets me. If I complete it, I complete it. But I know for some of us, I don't know if I can do 7 rotations a day. That's just asinine. I don't know how the hell that's going to work. Maybe they're also going to send us some orbs through like the mail. I have no clue, no idea. But this right now, this event seems way too heavy. Maybe also you don't need to get to milestone 29. I think if you get to milestone 20, you'll be able to get enough to be able to get the costume that they mentioned. But we just don't know where you're going to be able to get the rest of the Milner fragments from. So you kind of almost feel like you have to do this, right, in order to be able to get through it. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but yeah, let's I probably you want to take the approach of, listen, I already got the 50,000 for the milestone already. I'm quite content with where I'm at. I'll get what I get and I'll just move on. That might be the best approach to take, especially since we just got that gift, right? So that's where I'm at. But let's move on to something else here. Wanted to talk about, well, obviously we also do have a quick Rumble Blitz this week, which is going to be on the 14th. That's on Thursday. Sinister 6 characters are who you're going to need. Keep in mind that you get higher points for having characters at 5 stars, at 6 stars, or at 7 stars. You get higher points for those Blitz, so keep that in mind. But if you have 4 stars, you also do get some good points there as well, but you just get higher points the more stars that you have on those characters, so that keep that in mind as you move forward here. Wanted to talk about Mojo Mayhem. So this season, the Battle Pass is going to be, we're going to be having a new character here. And the new feature character is going to be Ghost Spider in terms of character shards. And I'm a little frustrated because this character is already in the raid milestones. Now, I want to say that this probably actually benefits some other players, right? Because I do want to say that the raid milestones, I'm not quite sure, depending on where your alliance is, how many Ghost Spider shards you're getting per raid season. So I do want to be sensitive to that. However, where's Scarlet Spider? Spider-Punk is in the Strike Pass. I felt like Scarlet Spider should have been the first character there, being that he was released before Spider-Punk. He was also harder to obtain in terms of shards than Spider-Punk was, because Spider-Punk was an event campaign character. And Scarlet Spider was what, Pocket Dimension. Not everybody was able to complete Pocket Dimension and get those shards. And then we had the gold milestone or whatever, right? So I would have preferred that, right? Ghost Spider, I don't know, like, better character, better than the other two I just mentioned, but still I would have preferred if there would have been some Scarlet Spider shards. Now, there was a blog post that was here that talked about some things that I thought were really interesting. This is posted Icy Statement. I always forget to upvote these things, but 2 months ago, Scopely acknowledged they needed to catch up, and this just kind of pointed out some things that I wanted to talk about in regards to character farmability. 2 months ago, Scopely acknowledged they need to catch up on the character farmability. Blog post from May 13th here, which kind of talks about the dev team is now looking to catch up on and is currently making a schedule to increase availability for the following characters in the coming weeks and months. Lady Deathstrike will come first, which we already got. Shang-Chi, that was changed, where he's now a part of the actual Blitz store. We still haven't gotten anything on Icarus and Cersei. Magic is a farmable in a node now. Ghost Spider is now going to the, what's she going to now? She's going to the Strike Pass, Battle Pass. She's already in the raid milestones, but she's technically still not farmable. Spider-Punk's still not farmable. He's only in the Strike Pass, but I'm assuming that he's going to be, he's in the arena orbs. I just don't consider that to be farmable. I'm sorry, boo-boo. That's RNG heavy. Like, I'm not guaranteed to get shards when I pull the orb, so that's not farmable to me. And then Star-Lord T'Challa, but no mention of Scarlet Spider here, so I guess, hey, I should be okay with that, just based on the fact that it wasn't mentioned. No, I'm not okay with it, because he's still the character that most players probably don't have enough shards on, right? So I would like to have seen them make some changes where that is concerned. But yeah, first of all, he mentioned some stuff here that this cadence has been 2 characters a month, what they originally said they would do from a year ago. Catching up requires more than 2 a month to make up for the past 6 months, or just 1 character being made farmable. Secondly, arena orbs does not mean farmable. Scopely acknowledged that Shang wasn't farmable in Blitz orbs, which are way easier to obtain than arena orbs. So obviously putting an overdue character in arena orbs is not farmable, and ensures he won't actually be farmable for 3 to 4 months. And definitely I agree with this statement. There's a lot of characters, especially right now with the Scourge Event going on. Icarus, Cersei, boy, that would be so helpful for some of the earlier players here. And I get it. Players who are probably just starting out probably shouldn't do well in the Scourge Event. I understand that. But what about players that probably have all the other teams, but just don't have Icarus and Cersei and can't do the Cosmic Mystic nodes, right? Cersei and Icarus would make it significantly easier for them if those characters were actually farmable and they actually made it a little bit faster. So I agree with this statement. I agree with this blog post. They got to make up. At this point, they probably should be doing 3 a month, just to make up for the fact that they were so behind before. I definitely agree with you on this one, Icy Statement, that that's something that they definitely should do here. But I'm going through some topics here rapidly. The last one I want to talk about is the Famine Scourge Event here, and just talk about my experience so far. Not that I'm in the Famine Scourge Event. So far I've done 3 runs. I'm actually going to be doing this run. I'm going to be starting that probably sometime today or maybe sometime tomorrow. I'm going to try to do a 1.5 million run here in for difficulty 8. The best one I've done so far is 1404. I'll show you where I'm at in terms of maybe the leaderboards. I'm at 4,000 right now on the leaderboards, which for me is okay. That's enough for me to be able to get a 5-star row, which is ultimately what I'm shooting for. But I want to secure that by doing a 1.5 run. And then we'll see kind of where we go from there. I may wait until the very end of it. I'm very close to getting Dormammu, and Dormammu will definitely make that Cosmic Mystic section towards the very end very easy to get. Not easy, but not very easy, but easier to go through than what it has been a little bit so far. It's been slightly challenging, although I've kind of figured out what to do. Use Doctor Strange Heartless in the villains node, build up his ult, and then go back into the second node in the Cosmic Mystic section and then be able to use his ult there. That's actually been really helpful for me with these last couple runs that I've done. So I will probably recommend doing that for some other players also. But experience so far has been that this has been sort of it's been easier than the Morgan Le Fay Pestilence Scourge event. I felt that because nodes 5 and node 10 were really the ones that were really kind of what gave a lot of players hiccups, right? Because you had to go into node 5, you had to wait for a certain series of actions to happen before you were able to kind of get through it. Because of how the Young Avengers are built, they're a better Scourge team than the Web Warriors are. And I found that it's just the toughest nodes for me are actually the Cosmic and the Mystic node right now. That's really what the challenge has been so far. For the most part, the other nodes have been fairly easy to get through. I haven't tried difficulty 9 yet, but I probably will try it once I do get Dormammu, just to see kind of where I will stand, knowing that I'm going to have to sacrifice or use a bunch of teams in order to be able to get through it. But for me, if I can at least get to the Cosmic Mystic section, at least complete that node, I should be in pretty much a pretty good place there where that is concerned. So the rogue experience, I wanted to talk about that a little bit here. I'm currently using her right now in Dark Dimension. I'm actually on the last node, and I'll show you sort of what I've been able to do so far by using her. So I'm actually saving my last run to make a video on this here, but the first 2 nodes that I went through in Dark Dimension, I used Rogue and was able to one-shot it. Now, you may say that a lot of that's just because of Omega Red and Morgan Le Fay. Not fully, man. Rogue was able to apply some ability blocks, get the two-turn trauma on the 2-turn ability block there. I'm sure it was immensely helpful as well with being able to save some of them whenever I needed it, throwing up some deflects, throwing up some heals. Definitely been very impactful. Black Bolt did absolutely nothing. So I want to talk about that real quick. Black Bolt didn't do anything, but he enabled me to be able to start Dark Dimension, and that was pretty much basically all I wanted. That's all I wanted. But was able to one-shot that node, was able to one-shot this node as well. Morgan Le Fay and Omega Red are stupid good, but Rogue, timely stuns, timely ability blocks. Oh my god. It's been so amazing. And then this last node right here, which I've only done 1 attack on so far, was able to get 76 million on that. And probably when I jump back in, I'll be able to complete it. But I want to record that and talk about sort of some other things for Dark Dimension 5. So we'll kind of jump into that a little bit later on. But yeah, those have been sort of my thoughts so far on Rogue. I think she's very good. I think she's definitely worth being a legendary character. I think she's still, I think I seen a video where somebody used her in Arena. It was slightly successful, but not great. Or it was okay, but it wasn't great. But of course, that's with a 3 and 3. Like, right, like I'm using a 3 and 3. No, not a 3 and 3. I'm using a 3 yellow. I have no reds on Rogue, and she didn't die. She didn't die until this node right here, right? So didn't have to resurrect her or revive or anything like that. She was able to survive at 3 yellow. So that says a lot, I think, about what Rogue is and how she stands up in terms of competition and where she stands as a legendary character right now. So yeah, guys, I mean, let me know. I'm curious to see when certain things are going to be coming back around here, like Pocket Dimension. I'm assuming that that's going to be, I'm surprised that we haven't gotten that as of yet in Tower mode, although I don't want it right now because we got a lot of stuff going on. Here's to see when things like that will roll back around. But of course, I'll probably make some future videos here on Rogue and sort of just using her in the mutant section and seeing how things go from there. But Gonna stop it in the video right here. I'm blabbing on, guys. A lot of topics to talk about. Ooh, wrong screen. A lot of topics here to talk about on the weekly on an update. I'm curious to see, of course, where you guys stand on a lot of these different topics. Famine Scourge, where are you right now? Cosmic Crucible, how do you feel about those changes? The Summer of Thunder event, are you kind of just going to take a backseat and chill right now, not really care about some of these other events that are going on? Let me know where you guys are in regards to that. But until next time, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.